uh, the recording started, and I hope we are live on YouTube as well. Akriti,
Yes, it's been live.
fantastic. Welcome everyone. Hello. So, I am very delighted today. I'm delighted to host this conversation with someone that is truly inspiring. Truly, she has been partnering with us for a long time now, and she has been a wonderful, wonderful student of our data engineering classes with Ashok's MADE program. And she has successfully cracked multiple Azure data engineering interviews, right? So she has a lot of great qualifications, and she's from our Mumbai COE. But today I learned that her hometown's in Patna, so that's a fun fact about her. So guys, she's here to share her journey. We'll talk a little bit about challenges she faced. She'll talk to us about some practical insights for all the aspiring data engineers who are listening in or who have joined today. Hopefully, we all learn a thing or two, right? So, guys, typically we uh, let our guests feel comfortable. So we don't specifically ask them to come on live and show their face for 100 minutes, because it's not about showing everybody's face and trying to do marketing out of it. It's not important. What's core to us is, if you guys learn something from it, if there's something you can apply to your own interviews or learning strategy, that's the part that is more important. We usually have experience sharing sessions of different kind. We have done at least 200 to 250 of it in the last 1.5 years itself, and we have this usually on Saturday, Sunday. So it's a good idea for learners to join, to talk to each other, to participate, and that's how you learn something and you also stay visible. So contribution is very important, guys. Okay. So welcome, Ankita. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Are you
Hi,
here?
Arun. Hi, everyone. I'm doing good.
Fantastic.
How about you, Arun?
I,
How are you
as,
doing?
as like I said in the beginning, I am excited. I am doing good. It's a beautiful morning in Texas, although it's getting really cold.
Grab your
Okay.
coffee and
I
then
know, no,
we
I
can
just
start.
had, yeah, I just had a, yeah. So let's start from the beginning, like something very
Yeah.
basic, and it's a free flow kind of a thing. It's more of a conversation, right? Where I learned something from you, we learned something from the audience, we learned something from everybody involved. So we'll make it very interactive, free flow kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Ankita, to start with, I always say, many people treat the moment they hear about interviews, they think, oh my God, it is going to be an interrogation. Yesterday, I was talking to Vishal, one of our Oracle leads in the COE, and he said, Arun, I I was asking him, uh, he has a lot of senior people, Oracle people, and I was wondering why these senior Oracle people are in the groups. Because so I said, and his answer was, Arun, these people, they are great at their what they do, they are good professionals, but they treat all interviews like interrogations. They don't treat
Mm.
it as if they are like, in front of a police, and the police is asking them, tell me about article, tell me about this, tell me about explain plan, tell me about performance tuning. And Vishal and I were laughing at it because we said, if you treat it like a conversation, it becomes much more easier, and you need to have an approach. Even though you don't have a perfect answer, the
Yeah.
approach should be right, and you should be able to explain it. So with that, I'm going to I sorry for a little bit deviation from the main course. Let's start at the beginning. So can you talk to us a little bit about your background
Yeah.
and what motivated you to choose a career in data engineering?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. I'm happy to share my journey with you all, and I hope it it will be helpful in your career path. So I'm Ankita Saraf. I'm having a total experience of 6.7 years in IT industry, and earlier, my current earlier role was into the application production support whole and solely. I was the support analyst. I joined one of the European bank in application production support. So my day to day work involved handling production support and maintaining servers, making sure that the application is up and running. Then working on weekends as well, and typically like to be on toes whenever it is required at a support level, and all the server upgrades and fixing the bugs. This was my roles and responsibility. And since having these many years of IT experience, I somewhere felt that something was missing, and I really wanted to move towards more data driven role, which is more impactful, and where I could actually build a solution and not just maintaining them and being at the support side. So that's where I chose Azure Databricks, and talking about that, why I chose Azure Databricks is because it is one of the most high demand and high paying skills in the current data engineering market. Like literally every organization like is moving towards the data driven decision makings and the real time analytics, and like and I've found that like mainly most of the companies have a data engineering role in it, in their companies, and it is so demanding. So why not to upgrade and upskill to something like that, which is high paying as well as very demanding in the market. So yeah, I chose the Azure Databricks, and be
You,
it. Hmm,
You had me at high paying. I love the word high paying and good demand because I'm always looking forward to, every couple years you have something new come up, and it's a great idea to do upskilling in something new. The high pay is obviously one of the big motivators. Let's be honest, right? I mean, most people want to have more recognition, more money, more you know not have a little bit security, uh, uh,
right.
be forward looking and all that. So Ankita,
Yeah.
I said I already in the starting I said I'm going to have a little fun also because we are here to have fun,
Yeah.
not be. It's like a conversation, right?
Right.
So Ankita, has anybody ever asked you during the interviews, uh, what's your favorite dish? For example, your hometown, litti chokha is very famous,
Right.
right? So,
Yeah.
what else is famous about your hometown?
Uh, Puri kachori, that is also very famous
Wow.
from Patna.
So, can you tell it's like AM in the morning and I've had tea and I'm you reminded me of Patna and I was like, wow, I can have a lot of good food. So Ankita, I'll jump straight into the
Yeah.
some questions that I've been asked by the audience to ask you. So, and they are basically related to the interview itself. And then after a while, we'll open it up to the audience if they have any questions because I want to keep it short and sweet, but people get takeaways from it. So, Ankita, when you started interviewing,
Mm,
uh, and you have been successful at multiple companies, not just one, and I believe that you're still taking, and you had an interview, you probably had one today morning, and you
yeah.
will probably have couple more. I mean, you are just in the, you're on the high, right?
Yeah.
So when you started interviewing, how many rounds does a typical data engineering interview have? So let's say I'm not going to name the companies already. You and I know what companies they are, but I'm not going to name every company until everything is final. But I wanted to ask you, How many rounds are there in a typical company? Let's call it company A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever. How many rounds did you have to face?
Yeah.
What happens in those rounds? Like some people tell me it's L1, L2, L3. Some people tell me it's
Yeah.
L1, and then immediately after they have like the director level interview or something like that. Like, everybody has
Yeah.
told me different things. So please go ahead and talk to us about it.
Okay. So, what I've experienced is that there are like three kinds of interview uh, sessions. Like in one kind of companies, you will have technical round one first of half an hour, technical round two again for half an hour or 45 minutes. If they are liking you during the interview, it might get extended. If it is extending, it means it is a positive sign. And so yeah, the typical rounds are mainly three rounds, I would say. Four rounds are rare, but yeah, it does exist in a like in a banking companies. I have experienced it having a fourth round as well with the director. But typically, it is technical round one, then technical round two, and the third will be the HR round directly. And the other kind of interview, it will have a one technical round for 1 hour straight, and the second one will be the managerial round, and third will be the HR round. And the third kind of interview is, like I said, where it exists the four round. So technical round one, round two, third is again like managerial round, and fourth one is the director round. So yeah, so basically mainly you will find two rounds of technical, and the third one will be mostly HR round.
So, Ankita, having said that, thank you for that insight. So, अगर हम बात करते हैं, right, if we talk about what happens in L1, how is a lot of people want to know, especially the beginners, fresher who have not taken any interviews, they want to ask, typically L1 में क्या पूछते हैं, what is asked in L1, what is asked in L2, how is the managerial round different, what type of questions one can expect. So very slowly, uh, talk to us about typical type of things asked in S1, typical type of things asked in L2 versus the managerial round.
Okay. So talking about round one will mainly, some companies will have a screening round where they're
Oh
gonna
my
see.
God, it makes me nervous already. Okay,
No,
sorry,
no,
just
no.
kidding. Uh-huh.
Screening now, like yeah, I mean they use a word screening, and this gets more scarier, but it is nothing but you have to present yourself, you have to showcase what you have, what work you have done. Basically, you have to align yourself with your CV. That's it. Whatever
अरे
you are
बाप रे,
written.
एक मिनट अंकिता, I'm getting, so I'll act like a fresher, right? Oh my God, you're asking me to showcase something. What do you mean, Ankita? Showcase. So should I showcase a portfolio? Should I, does that help, or should I showcase my resume? Should I showcase some of my code? What am I showcasing?
So, basically, for your resume, when you will start working on your resume, you have to come up with your projects and your stories. So, for me, like I am from the banking domain, and whatever support I have given
Hmm.
into some projects, I have
Huh.
converted that into the real-time data engineering project, because I know the in and out how what was the flow of the project. So I made up my own story, showcasing as if this was my data, around 3 to 4 million, suppose, and for that
Wow.
I have made a pipeline with the help of Databricks and ADF, or an orchestration with ADF. So this kind of typically 2 to 3 projects I have mentioned in my resume. So you have to, like, while I was getting myself trained with Ashok in the course, I relate to my existing work, which I did in my last 6 7 years
Wow,
in support.
and that's wonderful, Ankita, because people. So we have people coming from sales domain or retail domain or finance domain or supply chain, and we often, I think, we have had many seminars where we were told people you learn the concepts, but when you are doing an end-to-end project, if you already are coming from XYZ domain, like in your case, finance, why don't we pick up a finance-based project as one
Yeah,
of your showcase and and if you have done at least one or two projects, then the interview becomes a conversation, not interrogation. Again, I keep talking about it, and
yeah,
Ankita, we are apart from Databricks, we are also teaching MS Fabrics, and we are doing it in a unique style where we have right from day one, we are having case studies. So, case study every week, we have two case studies plus assignments. Uh, and even if you look at Ashok's, I mean, we have 10 projects that you can choose from. So there's a loan project, so people can pick up different type of projects based
yeah,
upon their domain, and that works out very well. So what
correct.
you are saying confirms what works. So
Yes.
Ankita, chalo round one में ये हो गया. So in L1 round, uh, I have heard from people that they ask about little bit about SQL as well. Some people have told me that. Some people say no, they directly start asking data engineering, other non-SQL questions. So, what has been your experience?
Okay. Typical round one may yes, they do ask SQL questions. So
Hmm.
basically, ADF and Databricks conceptual based question like architecture of
Hmm.
Spark, Databricks architecture. What is lazy evolution? So a more of theoretical question they ask, and they want to understand your concepts basically.
मतलब basically they are trying to test कि should I even does he know the basics so that I can
Basics,
move him to
right?
L2, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
for example, I mean, when you talk about the architecture, when it comes to Databricks, obviously Databricks में they'll ask medallion architecture.
Architectures, yeah,
Now,
yeah,
silver, gold, sorry, bronze, silver, gold,
yeah.
and they are called by different names in the industry. So they might expect you to know the
Name,
typical,
the keywords.
the keywords. You're right. You're right.
They are actually looking for the keywords. Like you don't have like you. It is more recommendable that you, when you are studying, you highlight those keywords like medallion architecture,
Hmm.
Spark in Spark there is a clusters and nodes, cores. So these things you keep using it like the important point in every topic. You pick up, you highlight two
The
or three
lingo,
keywords,
yeah, the
the
lingo.
lingo, so that interviewer relate to your answers. They, if they might not listen you properly, but they look for those words. So
Because what you is making a lot of sense when you talk like this. Because suppose I was the interviewer, I want
yeah,
a. I mean, you may have done XYZ, you may have picked up things from YouTube or elsewhere, but I'm looking for every answer. If I'm hearing the familiar keywords, I
yes,
might be a little more responsive to you. Good.
yes.
Okay. Fair. 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 So
So yeah.
Ankita talked. I want to spend a little bit more time on this question. So L1 में what else like architecture? One is the architecture. One is the you talked about lazy evaluation. Talk to me about few more type of questions so that we get a range of things in L1 versus
Okay.
L2. Huh.
Okay. So what is in ADF? They'll ask what is integration runtime and what are the types of integration runtime,
Hmm.
and how do you what activities you have used in your ADF pipeline. So type of activity you have to explain that which activities you have used. Then they might ask from the Databricks like what type of clusters you
Hmm.
have worked upon, and now
Hmm.
what kind, like what is the Spark optimization
नहीं
technique?
नहीं नहीं.
Sorry.
Yeah. Please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, that was you
Please
know.
resume. Yeah, you can continue. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about
So yeah.
Databricks. Yeah.
So these things was the typical questions, and sometimes they ask more scenario based, so that like interviewer check that what is your concept, like are you aware of the concept, and so that you can apply your concept and come up with the solution mindfully or not. So it is like sometimes it is not straightforward that like explain what is spark architecture. So these are the very, like these are straightforward questions. But in technical round one also they ask a scenario based question, where we have like if your concepts are clear, then you are able to give an answer. So I have faced one or two question which is scenario based. So that was there with the concept of ADF and Databricks. And also, yes, in the last 10 minutes of technical round one, it is
Mhm.
like a typical mandatory questions they'll ask from SQL and PySpark. Mainly these two languages. Python, yeah, but very few Python question or it will be asked. Only if any interviewer is interested in Python coding, then otherwise
Wow.
it is SQL and PySpark mainly.
Wow. So one of the things you said was Python. Now, I have noticed in general when I speak to different kind of students, even freshers or seniors, many people are just afraid of Python. They think that they have to be the master of Python. They should know it at the level of data scientist, which obviously is not true in my opinion. But I would like to hear your views on how much Python is enough. Because if you're aware, I mean, obviously you're aware, but for the freshers who will be listening to us, we have, for example, Ashok has given Python for data engineers for free to the world. Everybody. I have gone through the material and it's wonderful. Similarly, there are other ways to learn Python. But how much of Python is enough? Should I spend like months and months to learn Python for data engineering?
No, no. So in my whole interview experience, I have faced Python question twice, I would say, out of like 15 interviews, 15, 16 interviews.
Wow.
Twice only I have faced. Also, that was a very simple, like reversing a string or printing a Fibonacci series,
Yeah, and palindrome or something like that
palindrome or
combined.
something. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is not. Nobody will like deep dive you in core of Python and this logic and all. Mainly, you have to focus on SQL and PySpark and a little bit like in Python. I would say like go through set, tuple, list, what exactly it is. Like a normal basic ones, like how to modify a list, how to change a number. So like a very limited part you have to uh, see from
Yeah,
Python.
that's pretty consistent with what I've seen. I mean, there might be 1% of people that they are bent upon. They just want to show off their knowledge and they're bent on Python. But
Yeah,
otherwise, what I mean, most people have told me that it's like very basics of, very like the beginner. Like if you spend like 5 hours, it's 4 5
yeah,
hours, you're okay with it.
yes.
So
Mainly it is SQL and PySpark.
okay, so now I'm moving on to L2. So, obviously, at the L1 stage, they had a basic test, smell test, and they liked you and they called you for L2. What kind of questions? How do the questions in L2 differ from L1? Give me some examples. Like, uh,
Okay. So in L2, they can deep dive into your project experience. You have to explain any one of the project. To be
hmm.
honest, I am explaining one project of mine in every interview. They didn't even bother to ask any other example of project.
Exact. And this answer, trust me, I'm excited because I keep hearing this from almost everybody that they explained their one project. nobody has to do more than one or maximum two stories which challenge what was the goal of the project, what was
Yeah.
the challenge, what was their role, because they keep saying we, and we ask them out, tell them your role, what you did, and what was the result or the impact from it. So this is
Yeah.
pretty consistent as long as you have two good stories, and
Yeah.
hopefully they are not just stories just for the sake of it. Like in your case, you are from banking domain, so you took a
Yeah.
project in that domain, and from ingestion to insights, you had a realistic, authentic story
Correct.
that you had worked on. So that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So other than the projects in L2, what other kind of give me all the, because you have gone through the entire, you know
Yeah.
what we teach or what a typical
Yeah.
course teaches. Talk to us three four type of questions.
Okay.
I don't want to give exact questions, or if you remember them you can share whatever comes to your mind.
Okay. So, a typical question of round two is your project experience, and you have to explain the architecture and step by step, like what data transformation you have applied in your project. So, when you are making your own story to explain, make sure that you are also noting it down that what all transformation you are applying in your story, project story, so that you can explain the technical part as well. They would want from ingestion to the pipeline delivery, you have to explain each and every part, like you have to go through your medallion architecture, bronze, what is happening in bronze, silver, may which type of transformation you are doing, how the data quality is being achieved, and so all those you have to now while Ashok will teach, they you have to make your transformations, like uh, basically it should not be the like a upper level now business use case you have to build, plus you have to write the technical implementation of the project which you're going to showcase. So that is there in depth of your project experience. Second is they're gonna ask SCD type 2 questions, like slowly changing dimension type 2, how you are achieving it. And if you say that you are achieving through merge statement, then they might ask you to write the code. They might ask, so they have
Got you. Yeah, and some people, Ankita, uh, 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 I might be digressing, but some people say that they yeah, you either make you write the code, or give them your approach, but some people at the same time are also worried about, they say we have learned all the concepts, we have done a project, were able to showcase, but internally, whether they show it or not, they're afraid of PySpark. So talk to us a little bit about PySpark. I mean, you can complete your sentence and you can talk to us a little bit about PySpark, and how how does one, like, I'm a beginner. I'm
hmm,
not from, let's say I'm a beginner, I'm not from programming background,
yeah.
and I have learned all the concepts, but I'm somewhat uncomfortable with PySpark. So I would like to hear, you, or plus your friends that you have seen, colleagues that you have seen, how did they get past this fear of PySpark?
uh PySpark, so I am very much I can resonate with your like every candidate's fear when they hear PySpark,
Hmm.
but trust me, it is very simple, very easy, very if you know a little bit of SQL, then you can easily understand and adapt yourself. And even if you forget about SQL, like like I would say that because of the Ashok's teaching style,
Hmm.
I'll just give uh, uh like a
Sure,
whole
sure.
and
You can.
full
Yeah,
credit
one of
to
my
Ashok.
questions. Yeah, one of my questions, anyways, was, and we'll talk about it. Could you share your experience from the class, or talk talk to us about a little bit about Ashok's style. And I have
Yeah.
heard that, oh my God, he's a very strict teacher. I've heard a lot of good things. Everybody says, oh my God, he's very strict. He says, practice, 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 guys.
Yeah.
Everybody can hear him during the interviews. Practice, guys,
Yeah.
practice. I make jokes on the subject, but yeah, I mean, he's a very smart fellow who trains people to be more hands-on and more practical.
Yes.
Anyways, go ahead. I'm going to keep mute. Just keep talking. Yeah.
So, I would say that Ashok teaching style, this will really help any candidate to learn from scratch, whether a person knows SQL or not, doesn't
Hmm.
matter. He will literally pick our hands and make us learn things like a baby, I would say. So, so I would say that the way he teaches is very structured and very practical oriented and easy to grasp. And
Hmm.
because why it is easy to grasp, because he focuses more on the development background. I mean the foundation should be strong, the concepts should be strong. So he make us that he focuses that more, and with the concept he make us do the practical thing. I mean, structurally, you'll be able to relate that whatever he is explaining, he does implement it, and he shows how to achieve it. So I think like even for someone who doesn't come from the development background, or like anyone like me, I was in the support. So so this I
Ankita, but
think.
I'm very happy with you because you actually worked on project. Because Ashok emphasized a lot on the hands-on projects, and I noticed that by the time the session is ending, people take it lightly. People either sometimes people won't appear for a class; they listen to the recording as if they're watching Netflix. And he keeps saying, practice, guys, talk to me. And the moment, and I've seen this in multiple classes, not just Ashok, the instructors will ask the students, if you have any doubts from the last session before I start my recording, please go
Hmm.
ahead and ask. Or
Yeah.
please set up some time with me. Please
Yeah.
talk to me in the morning or in the evening.
Yeah.
Either they will not show up. Sometimes, I mean, I'm not talking about all the students. One or two
Hmm.
students, and they will never show up. Or they'll keep cribbing about, oh, I had my office, I had this, I had that, I had my
Hello. I think I have lost you. Hello, Arun. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Ankita.
Okay. Okay.
Can you
Okay.
hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Arun, we can hear you now.
Okay, I think there was something to do with my earpiece. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I'm back on speaker.
So
So a lot of people.
regarding the
No.
importance. Hmm.
Ankita, what I was saying was a lot of people have excuses. I was busy in the office. My mother-in-law had something. My sister-in-law had something. My you know my dog ate my homework, and it was very tough waking up in the morning or whatever. Thousands of excuses, and that's okay. I mean, life happens. Or I was sick. The easiest thing to say is I was sick, so that nobody asks you a question. And so what I have noticed is people who do projects in
Hmm.
any workshop that we have, whether it is MS Fabrics, whether it is data engineering, people who literally have done workshops, they are the most successful people in any interview. Uh, I strongly recommend people to please. Ashok has 10 plus projects, or if you want, you can come up with your own as well. 11th project, 12th project. I look at Surya's um, classes or our seminars. Guys, if you practice with the and do couple projects, It'll be easier to speak about them in the interviews with the story of challenge, action, results. Otherwise, we
Um,
can keep talking about, hey, you know what people say? Give me PDF, give me top 10 questions, give me this, give me that. And that's a very silly approach. Actually, yesterday, Ankita, what happened was I was uh, observing one of the groups of SQL, right? Because Vishal does a great job on SQL, training people on SQL Superhero course. Funny, some, and I would call him an idiot. Some idiot. I'm sorry to use. I'm just being blunt. This idiot is asking in the group, "Hey, d- does does somebody know anyone who can help clearing my interview through proxy?" And I was not only shocked, surprised, angry. I don't have enough words to talk about it, because these are the kind of people who spoil their own name. And we see them, we try to educate and counsel them that don't do like this guys have. uh, I I just stopped the conversation, and Vishal immediately wrote back, please don't do this in the COE. Never, even don't even ask these kind of questions. They are like horrible crutches, and they are unethical. So just don't do it. I won't speak too
mm,
much about it. Angata, so going back to Pice Park, I want to spend one more minute on it,
mm,
because I have received feedback from multiple students. Yes, especially the ones who are from non-IT background. We have to understand them, right? They say, yes, we learned a little bit, but still we are afraid. We practice also, but we are not confident whether it is a best practice or not. We are still afraid. So, what do we tell those people? How do you? I mean, if somebody came to you, Didi, let's say somebody came to you in your hometown and said, Didi, I have learned about your success, and what a fantastic show, you have cleared multiple interviews. But Didi, I have learned the same thing. I've done project also, but
mm.
Spice Park abhi bhi mere ko thoda sa, I have a challenge. I'm having a challenge. So what will you tell that fresher girl or boy?
Uh, I would say that like don't like non-IT people don't need to afraid of PySpark, because many like successful data engineers today actually come from a non-coding background or a support background. To be honest, I have seen many of my data engineering friends who doesn't even know the coding of like coding anything. They are not from the coding background, and this is the best part of data engineering, that you don't have to like proper code. It is ETL, like a extract, transform, and load. Basically, you have to do
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
And when you say PySpark, then it is built on a Python, and it
Hmm.
is a very beginner level PySpark. I mean, you have to just understand like how to use filters, how to use joins, how to use group by, aggregate, like a couple of things on your hand you can count, so that you have to practice just 4 5 things. You have to know how does it work, and it is very simple, like
Yeah,
any SQL joins. Yeah.
in all our workshops, in all our community building sessions, whether it is given by any one of our leads, we are always talking about it. And I hope this concept sink in the people's heads soon.
So
Um,
you don't have to stress to learn PySpark. Give
hmm,
all your stress to Ashok. He will take
hmm,
care of that. You don't have to stress at all.
got you. Got you. So now I'm going to turn it into a fast round questions like. Uh, uh, So just like everybody else, I'd like to ask you: does LinkedIn work better or Naukri works better, in your opinion?
Um, so in my opinion, if you'll ask, LinkedIn will give you like 30% of support, but
Mhm.
mainly it is Naukri. So,
Wow.
uh,
So yeah, I mean, people have given their different opinions. They try both LinkedIn and Naukri. A lot of people have gotten visibility. A lot of people write a lot of articles. They get a lot of visibility through LinkedIn. and they also do Naukri. So either ways, but, but I think
Okay, so applying for interviews, yes, LinkedIn will like help
uh,
because they'll post the job openings and all,
correct.
and plus in all the WhatsApp group of COE, we
Hmm.
will keep getting the new openings or some
Hmm.
other companies. So that in that sense, yes, I mean LinkedIn is very helpful. Like I see the post and I see the email ID and number. I immediately call or send an email that hey, I am looking for a job, and you can send the basic of your profile and send your
Of course,
CV.
of course, you write in a professional, because when you say I'm looking for a job, people in the audience might understand that's how I should write. I
No, no, no,
because
no, no. In a
people
professional way.
literally, hear and they don't understand what you're saying, so they literally cut paste. Hey, hi, so and so. Hi, friend. I'm looking for a job. People end up messing it up, so they
Yeah,
have to write professionally. Of course, is the message. So don't get Ankita wrong, guys. Anybody
yeah.
who's listening to us later on. So, Ankita, uh, what has been, I mean, I have noticed that there's huge exploding demand, and I'm using the word exploding demand. I've heard it from all the leads, I've heard it from candidates, I've done market research, and do you also have similar experience that there's no, I mean, the market is exploding with data engineer opportunities?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, every company today wants a real-time insights or a data pipeline automation. And like when I was applying through Naukri and checking the job openings on LinkedIn, I was getting so many companies openings. I mean, I was not knowing till the time I was. So I was not ready to apply. Till that time I was not knowing that it was such a high in demand. I mean, if you're not selected in one company, then no worries. You have 1,000 more companies next, which you have to give look forward to. So, like data engineering opens immense door, and
Hmm.
if you're looking to switch into data engineering or move up your career, I think Azure Databricks is one of the smartest choice, I would say, right now. And it is very impactful and very high in demand. And of course, the pay is nice.
So, Ankita, I'm going to ask you three quick questions, and after which I'll open it up to the audience, and they're very basic in nature. So, question number one, ready?
Yeah,
Alrighty. So, Ankita, uh, from the perspective of interviews, we forgot to talk about HR round. So, what was there in the HR round or the manager round after
okay.
L2?
After L2 manager round, will check your problem solving approach, communication, and how you explain end to end flow and your business skills. So basically, it is more like your communication should be good, and a problem solving approach, how you work in your like in your company, and how to take things when something is not wrong, something is wrong in so some if there is any conflict, how do you approach in problem solving. So this very basic question, even if you put in a chat gpt, you will get like a top 10 manager round question, that they will not ask anything
Yeah,
bizarre which you
but I
don't
mean,
know.
and this is one, Ankita, at the same time, we have to be extremely careful. People are cutting, pasting Chat GPT, Gemini, and other LLM tools answers. And please, I want to make people understand that they are chat GPT answers written by a machine. Please use answers from your background. Don't, Ankita, I'm very cautious about cutting, pasting from chat GPT anything, because that doesn't sound authentic to people, right?
Yeah,
Because any any HR manager is not a fool. they can detect uh, that you're trying to just uh, cook up answers from somewhere, because they don't stop at asking one question. They will ask a probing question which is related to. So so use chat gpt or anything, or a mentor, or listen, talk to a lot of people, do a mock session, and basically get a kind of get get a get a thought starter, but don't cut paste copy the same answer,
Yes,
right?
yes, right, right. I mean, you can get the questions and you can prepare your answers with your experience. You can
Gotcha.
take it as a reference.
Uh, the second question, Ankita, we have a global career services group where we do resume optimization, LinkedIn optimization, preparing you for kind of questions that can be asked better than ChatGPT. I mean, I think, in my opinion, I think great about the global career services group, that we do a great job of preparing the candidates uh, with the technical questions, as well as the uh, behavioral questions and some other questions based upon your resume itself. How has been your experience with the global career services, COE?
Um, it was very good. I mean, after once I have completed the journey with Ashok, and
Right.
the COE group is where you can collaboratively like discuss your issues, and like you'll get a lot of help like in your resume building. I personally, I have got a lot of help from COA group. Plus, Arun himself has helped me in building my resume, literally building my resume. I would say, what I have like made, and whatever doubt I had, Arun and the COE group has literally made it very easier for me to go ahead with the interview round, and whatever question, whatever doubt you have, it will be solved there. So the community support is like a top notch, which is very rare. Like,
I just you speak too highly of this guy Arun. I just don't like him. I'm going to fire him someday. Just kidding. All right. Okay,
Hello.
my
Hello.
yeah.
Yes, here I would like to ask like one question. Like we discussed about like various topics. Now, if you have to give like top three things which helped you to land this role or job, what
Yeah,
would
that's
those
where
be
I was.
top three
That's where I
things?
was coming. Top, yeah, the top three things, and I was almost done anyway. So we'll open up to all the audience, including our leads. So yeah, Ankita, please. So my last question, anyways, was in a different way. I would rephrase: What is your top? What are your top three advices or top three tips for any listener?
uh, top three advices I would give you that attend the classes of Ashok, and make like write down your own notes whenever it is required, because like not every time you have to go back and watch the video. If you have to quickly brush up what he has taught, make a rough note of yourself, and whenever he highlights the interview questions, like the important interview question, please note down separately that this topic is, because he keeps on highlighting while explaining things. Interview question is also being highlighted, and trust me, if you will uh, diligently follow Ashok's lecture, then your interview preparation is half done. Like, I mean, the fully done, basically. Whatever he teaches and whatever he says that it is important for interview, it means that it is actually important. I have seen that whatever I have marked it important, that those questions are the most asked.
Right,
So,
and we have been asking all our leads, especially the ones that are actively teaching, to ensure that we as we as more and more candidates are being successful and sharing their experiences like you, we are collecting and collating them and kind of helping other students prepare, so we are getting better almost each day in an iterative manner.
Yeah.
um, okay, so that was your advice part, guys. So at this point of time, I guess I would open it up to the audience. So anybody, anyone that is listening, if they have any questions, you can ask them now.
So Ankita, here
Hmm.
like you talked about top three things. Like what is like probably the biggest mistake or top three mistakes you have done, which you would have otherwise avoided, which would have done the I mean, which would have helped you to achieve your goal faster. Like what are like three biggest things which you thought you wish you knew earlier?
Okay, so
Isn't
after
Ankita? Isn't our audience very naughty? Sometimes they'll ask a question with deliberately to put you in a trap. So you can
no,
just
no.
give your honest opinion. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
our audience is fun, but
yeah,
very
yeah.
very yeah, because
Three
everybody
mistakes.
wants to learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would. Okay, I would generalize this. So mistake which I have done is, uh, which one should not do is you keep revising stuff. I mean, so that you relate the other next course. Like if you have attended this weekend lecture, make sure like you take out time and revise those, and you like consistency is important basically. For me, like because of my some personal issues, I could not revise it on time. So this advice I would give you, that keep revising, take out your time and do revise before your next session, so that you can ask your doubt on the session itself and not keep it for later. And another advice I would give you, that as you go through the course, keep like try to now think about your project and like keep noting it down, that what project you can at the end transform into a ETL project to showcase, like whatever your from which whatever domain you are coming, you in a rough notepad you keep mentioning that, okay, in this topic I will come up with this project of mine. So you keep a note that topic this and this you can showcase in your CV. So if you are relating it to your some present work, or the past work, you keep mentioning, because these things comes in your mind very instantly, and it can go also very instantly, and you keep on remember, like try to remember that what was the topic which clicked for your project. Because for project, you yourself have to come up with the story, nobody else will come up for your story. Everything you will learn, the course will be now there, but the story, the work which you are doing currently in your organization, only you can come up with that. So your story is very much personalized to you. So keep writing your project or the ideas where which you will put in the CV with the topic, so that you go back to the Ashok's topic video, and then while making a CV you can create your own story. So this is one tip I would want to give you, which I thought that I should have done it, like whenever I was getting an idea of keeping making my story, then I missed writing it.
Yes,
Gotcha.
and generally, like a lot of people, lot of students, like who are learning, they have this nervousness about the interviews. Like they feel like, okay, I'm not ready for the interview, or some of them they become like very nervous during the interviews. So, what do you think is like best suggestion to overcome that?
I think best suggestion is that that like for me I would tell you like even I was very nervous. I thought that I am not ready for the interview, but it is not like that. I mean, once you are done with your revision and your concept is clear, then you are ready for the interview. I was actually seeking a perfection, but then all my like previous experienced as students, they suggested that you're never ready. You have to hit the interview, and purposely you have to go to the interview to see what kind of question they ask, so that you fail. Like you just imagine that you're gonna fail only. You are just taking the experience. So mm, so one or
Sanjay,
two in
I had a lot of fun with Ankita. We were into several sessions where we had exchange of ideas, knowledge sharing, and all that. And the first time she talked to me, I told her, "Oh, just pray Ganpati, just pray one of the goddess or goddesses that is your favorite, and give them all
yeah.
your worries and everything." But
I mean,
Ankita prepared multiple kind of questions, and Ankita,
yeah,
talk to Ashok, talk to me, talk to the people, and she was she came up with her own lot of different questions from what she had experienced. And I wanted to just add that the more you talk to mentors or other colleagues, you will get a lot of questions, and the mock
yes,
sessions will get you out of nervousness. Nervousness is a good thing to have. Yeah, nervousness means that you are at least because lazy people are not nervous. They are never nervous. Only the people who are preparing will be nervous, and that's
no,
okay.
yeah, right. So, yeah, I mean, one or two interview you will face that. Even like till now, I feel a little, I mean, nervous, but that is okay. I mean, that is part of the interview process. This is, I
Even
think,
I
like,
was nervous. I'm taking an interview of a girl who has accomplished so much, and I was nervous taking this interview. So, and that's okay, right? Ankita will be Ankita and other the audience will forgive me, right, for that. Okay, guys.
yeah,
Other than Sanjay, uh, I see Chandrakant, Deepika, Divyanshu, Maniraman, Pratipaka. I want people in the audience to come up with their questions. So, guys, please unmute yourself and ask those questions.
See, there are some
I
questions
guys,
in the
one of the
chat
fun
already.
facts is wait, one of the fun. Yeah, Sanjay. So, could you please, if they are not able to speak, can you
Yeah,
help me
I am reading out.
by reading
Yes,
out those questions?
yes, yes.
But
So,
Sanjay,
Santosh
let me
has,
tell you a fun. Come
yeah.
on, man. No, no, Sanjay. The
Mhm.
fun fact
Okay,
before fun fact. Fun. We have to share fun. You are forgetting the fun part, Sanjay.
okay, yeah.
Sanjay, it is Ankita's birthday tomorrow. So first of
Oh,
all, we should wish her happy birthday in advance from the COE, and she will
thank
have
you
a lot
so
of
much.
fun. So
Thanks a lot.
yeah, so I wanted to share that fun story, but still she told me that I'm very excited to share my knowledge because before my birthday is a very happy birthday, really happy birthday for me with multiple offers I've cracked. But I wanted to share. So now you go ahead, Sanjay.
okay.
Please
So,
read out the questions.
yeah, Santosh has asked, what are the most asked scenario-based questions that you faced in the interview?
Uh, yeah, so I have a set of questions. I can post it in the group if you want.
Okay. Love the approach of creating a story based on data we work in day-to-day job questions. If you could share how many projects or expertise required for Databricks ADF for 6 years experienced, that is first one. Second thing is time taken to practice.
Uh, for your CV, I think three projects are enough for you to showcase. And yeah, one is from the ADF. I can tell mine. One is from ADF, and rest two was from a Databricks project.
Okay, and did they ask you about Unity, catalog, and data governance?
Yes, yes, that is the most important.
Okay, and interviewers, do they ask about data governance in general?
Yes, yeah. The data governance, Unity catalog, and the key vault, these things will come into this data governance. It is
O-
important.
Okay, Pawan is asking any questions that you couldn't answer or you found difficult.
They also look for the candidate who knows the CI/CD deployment, uh, DevOps part. So it is
Yeah.
okay if you know it. But if you're mentioning in your CV, then make sure that you are very aware of the each steps. I mean,
Yeah.
they can ask how you deploy your project from a lower environment to the higher environment. So the entire steps you have to
Okay.
tell it.
Actually, here I would also like to add one more thing. Whenever a question like that comes, I would always throw saying that there is a separate team doing that. There's
Huh.
infrastructure team doing it. So that is one way in which I dodge that question in case
Yeah, I
something.
mean, you don't have to be master of DevOps. There are various approaches to handle this question, and
Yeah,
any mentor from the COE, particularly Ashok, will be very helpful if you understand the different approaches to answer this question.
yeah.
Yes.
Uh, Sanjay, do we have anything else in the chat
No,
box?
no.
Can you check?
We don't have anything in chat box. I think Abdul has raised his hands. He can ask the question next. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Give me a sec, Abdul. So one of the
Okay.
questions, Ankita, we are asked is, not in every single interview. Sometimes there's an interview in which we are unsuccessful. So people are not able to handle rejection. How should they get motivated, Ankita?
I mean, rejection itself, show a path to progress. So I think each rejection will teach you something, and you improve yourself better. Like you learn from the rejection and improve and try to do better in the next interview. I would say that don't take rejection as a disappointment because this is our we are trying, we have worked so hard, and we are upskilling ourselves, and every rejection is actually a redirection and not a failure. So I also take
Wow,
rejection.
that's a very strong statement. Because many people they tell me, "Sir, today I'm going to open up my bottle of beer or whatever that stupid thing is, and I'm going to drown myself in sorrow because I had one rejection or the interview was rude or tough or." But your statement saying rejection is nothing but a redirection is a very powerful statement. So thank you, Ankita, for saying that.
Thank
Abdul,
you.
go ahead.
Okay. So my first question is, like I have two, three questions noted down. Someone is a Power BI developer who is trying to upskill himself into a data engineering role. So is it possible that when he try to get a job, he will purely be into data engineering role, or he will get a mix of both, Power BI plus data engineering? Because I have listened that data engineers just do data engineering stuffs, they don't do analytic stuffs, and analysts do analyst stuff, they don't do engineering stuffs.
Abdul,
Yeah.
that line is getting blurred, and I would love for Ankita, before you say anything on this one, I would love to have, because we have been asked a lot of these kind of questions in MS Fabric as well. So I would love to have Sanjay's opinion on this as an expert in both spaces, data engineering as well as a solution architect in Power, as a Power BI architect and all that. So
Yeah.
Sanjay, can you? Yeah.
See, if you want to be like a senior engineer or a data engineer, then you learn one part and the other part you can ignore. But if you are aspiring to become a lead architect or any senior role, which is equivalent like principal engineer, then they expect you to know everything, including hands-on. Like you should be, I mean, in simple words, like people ask, like, what should I learn? You should learn end-to-end execution. Like if you are aspiring to get into lead or architect position, the expectation is that either you have that hands-on or you can guide someone, So if you want to guide someone, at least you should know what that is all about. So you should be able to articulate it, and it will be, of course, scenario based questions will be asked, and they will try to check your level of knowledge as well. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you are applying for a big company or a small company, but if you want to progress in your career, then definitely the end to end execution will be very important. Now, to answer your question, yes, there are roles which are segregated, but again, it depends on the type of platform you're using. Let's say if it's a fabric, it's a unified, like everyone will do everything. But let's say if you're talking about Azure in general, so there again you will see a segregation. Some people work only on ADF, some people work only on Databricks. That we cannot really tell. And and another piece of the question is, now specifically when you're talking about Power BI, so yes, there are some teams. For example, when I attended some interviews, in some companies the structure in is in such a way that the analytics team is separate, data engineering team is separate. So even if you get into, let's say, a particular role, because the teams themselves are different, it is difficult to get exposure towards the data engineering side. Now some companies, they have a unified team, like data engineering and analytics is the same team. So there sometimes you'll get into a Power BI role, but you will on the job learn data engineering, the other way around as well. So I cannot definitely answer your question here. It depends on the company, and you can always check that by asking this question at the end of the interview. Like
Sanjay,
whenever the interview ends.
one realistic situation that has been happening to some of the people, not everyone, to Abdul's question,
Hmm.
the realistic thing is, let's say there's a client, and I'm talking from real stories of people. So let's say they don't have a project immediately. You have to wait for some time, and they also are observing you in that period, bench period kind of a thing, when while they've recruited you and they're waiting. But there's a client that says there's an urgent Power BI requirement, guys, and we need somebody to help us, and who also knows a little bit of data engineering. So the company account manager will come and ask you guys, saying, hey, we know that it's not a pure data engineering work, but could you help a little bit, this client, because we lose business. So there'll be account managers chasing you, and you will think, okay, I'm on bench, might as well take it up. Because if you tell them that, no, I will not do Power BI, this is not my job, it is a visualization team job, analytics job, that's not going to fly well, right? So this is what happens typically in a real life, particularly in consulting organizations, or even places like Infi, LTI, and other places. That's the realistic feedback
Yeah.
that I have. Ankita, do you want to add something to it?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, because, yeah, Sanjay, go ahead.
Yes, yes. So here, see, when it comes to like which one should you choose and all, generally what I do is, because we'll never know until we join, right? So in order to get the confusion clarified, at the end of technical in L1, L2 itself, one of the questions which I ask is, what is your project pipeline and how many projects are running, what technology you are
Perfect,
working
perfect.
on.
That gives you a great idea. That
Huh.
really should give you a great idea, yeah.
And almost every company, no one hesitated to answer that question. Everyone told, okay, this is our pipeline. These are the products which are running. And then I used to ask a follow-up question. Now imagine there is a product where Snowflake is used instead of Azure, or let's say Fabric is used instead of Databricks. So will I get an opportunity to work on that as well? Even though that I ask, like that will give you like two things. One, the interviewer will know that you're open to any kind of technology. That is one thing, one positive thing. And second thing is, you'll also get to know whether you can jump between technologies or your role is very fixed. Now typically in product based companies, what I have seen at least is, in product based companies, your role, everything is very much defined. In service based companies, it's not like that. One day you'll be working on Databricks project, and once that project is over, you can jump into Snowflake project. So that flexibility will be more in service based compared to product based. This is what I have seen. So product based are more like specialized roles. Service based roles are more of diversified roles.
Gotcha. Anyone else, guys? Sanjay has wrapped it up very beautifully. Any other
Yeah,
questions, guys? This is your
yeah,
time to ask anything.
yeah, yeah. Hi everyone. So Ankita, I am manual background, and as you have mentioned that you were also from application support production. similar to that. If I jump, if I clear all the interviews, and explain all my projects, someone will come up and is it happened with you, or is it going to happen? Is it expected to happen that someone will say that you have faked your experience? Is it something like that, or everything will go on the basis of interview?
During interview, you are saying?
No, on during interview or after interview, can it happen?
No, that's so I would suggest that nobody will gonna say that you have faked it, because when you are clearing the interview, then nobody will gonna help you. You yourself will clear the interview. It means you are knowing each and every concept of it, and you have had a hands-on practice, and you have done the project. At least try to do minimum of one or two projects, so that you are confident enough when you are speaking it in the interview. And before you join any company, you have a certain, I mean, a comfort level of using Databricks and ADF, and so that like you have a bit of confidence before dealing with the real time. So I would say that hands-on practice is what clears everything.
Okay, here we have some questions in the chat. So it is
Thank you.
asked by Santosh. I can explain concepts but cannot write exact syntax at moment. If they ask to write, how can we tell the interviewer?
Then you can say that sorry, I could not recall this, but I have worked on this concept, and you can, if you if you know the concept, then you can try to explain it. But if but this gives a bad impression if you are slick, if you're knowing the implementation but you're not able to write a code. It means it gives a little bit of bad impression, so it is better that you practice it. So
Okay,
when you are saying it, you should practice it.
okay.
Sanjay,
Follow-up
what would you say? What would you say as a lead data engineer? How should because we've had people they gave for example data engineering or data analytics, and they said because I know for example there's been a candidate Nilay, right? And he did very well in his interview. He said, "Sir, I may not be 100% in syntax. Sometimes I might miss something, but if you ask me anything
Hey,
about
have
the
you seen?
concept and my practice, I'll be able to explain it to you very well." So
Yeah.
maybe I'll slip here and there a little, but don't worry about it because I know it. I have practiced enough on it. And he went ahead and explained his projects well, and they didn't seem to bother. It didn't seem to bother them. What has been your experience, Sanjay?
Yeah, see, my experience has been as long, see, you can mention beforehand while writing itself, like when you share your screen and open the notepad or whatever, you can tell them that, see, my syntax will not be perfect, but I will tell you the logic, the concept and the logic. Overall, if you are correct, they are still okay. They will understand that you cannot write perfect syntax. That has been my experience. In most of the interviews, I give the disclaimer and then I'll write the logic, and they were completely okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, not a single company objected saying that why you are doing this way. No, in every company, like whenever they ask me hands-on, put a disclaimer and then I'll write it so that the expectation levels are set and I explain. Like for example, if they are asking me to write a second highest value in SQL, for example, then I'll say, okay, we'll write a CTE followed by the rank. I mean, CTE will write that rank function to satisfy the ties and all. We'll use dense rank, and finally we'll write the main query and we can get it. If you are using MS SQL, then we can use the limit function. Like that, I'll try to explain. And
Yeah.
then I will tell them, see, here and there, my syntax will be like there could be an issue, but overall, this is the logic, and they're happy. And they ask me a follow-up question, and it goes
Yeah,
normal.
especially they also understand that somebody might be coming from MS SQL, somebody must have done Oracle SQL, or maybe if they're doing Fabric, they have learned about because SQL is transactional based, right? It is very
Correct,
declarative.
correct.
But TSQL, for example, is not declarative. So people might ask you, but as long as you're explaining them like Sanjay said or Ankita pointed out, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ankita, next question in the chat box is what are the level of interview in service based versus big four versus product based in each round?
Uh, it is more or less same only.
Okay.
I would say, yeah.
Okay. And most of the recruiters are asking for immediate joiners or less than 1 month. How to overcome if people are having 2 to 3 months of notice period?
So you like this happened to me. So I tried to get one at least one offer letter so that I drop my papers. So yeah, so despite knowing, I mean, whatever company you are getting the offer letter, you should accept it and drop papers and keep giving more interviews.
No, no. I think the question
I,
is
I
how
would
to
I,
get
I
the
would
interview
say
calls.
I would
How to?
say I would
Get
say
the
even if
calls.
you're writing 30 days, if you negotiate well with your employers, they should be willing to relieve you, provided you have provided them a transition plan, a
Yeah.
backup support plan, and if you are able to find your backup in the right time,
Yeah.
they should be willing to work with you. That's my high level answer, but on a case to case basis, there are nuances, and we have helped many students work through the process, and almost every case we have been successful.
Okay, so Sunil, to answer your question, generally what people do is they'll write their notice period as 30 days, get the interview calls. Once they get the offer, then they'll drop the papers and keep that offer. With that first offer, they'll get the second offer, third offer. By the time they get their nth number of offer, the notice period will be done. I mean, that is generally what people do. The next
Yeah.
question is from Pawan. Please share tips for aspiring data engineers based on your experience. Could be interview based tips or technology based tips. I think this is a very broad
Yeah.
question, but yeah, probably you can share top three.
I think I've already shared,
Yeah, yeah,
but
Yeah,
again, I
Sanjay, do
would.
you, but if you want, Sanjay, you can provide because Ankita has done a good job of sharing that.
yeah.
She might point out maybe one thing, but why don't you? Because you have seen a lot of reviews and you yourself have been an interviewer. So from that perspective, how would you add inputs to it?
Okay, yeah, yes, definitely. See, here the number one tip which I want to give is, like now imagine, I mean, mainly I would talk about the confidence level. Like for example, imagine you failed in a government exam. Now you have to wait for the next 1 year because the notification has to come again. But in private sector, especially for something like data engineer, even if you fail your interview in the morning, you can still get a offer in the evening, right? For from another company. So first, probably the biggest thing which I mean, which anybody will notice is your confidence level. Now, if you do not have the confidence level, even if you are explaining the concepts very well, even if you are able to articulate, if that confidence level is not there, still people might reject you. Now when now the next question is like how will you get confidence? Now there are only two ways to get confidence. One way to get confidence is if you have real time experience. Now okay, you don't have real time experience, then the other way is you keep on doing hands on and you keep on practicing the projects or assignments which are given in the course, any course which you are doing, by the way. So let's say if you already did everything, still you are not having the confidence, then you do more, do those projects again, or probably you can come up with your own idea, like how Ankita has said. Try to replicate that kind of idea in real time. Like okay, you have done some project probably in Oracle, or maybe you have or maybe you have come across a scenario, like for example, imagine you want to do some analysis on bank transactions, for example. You can even take something personal as well, like just to get that hands on and to improve your confidence level. That is one. I mean, confidence level is extremely important. Second thing is, what I notice is there are some people who are very good with hands on and who can solve the problems in real time, but when it comes to interviews they cannot articulate. Their communication is very weak. Here I'm not talking about the confidence, but the way how you're articulating, like they get confused and they try to, I mean, when they explain, the interviewer will not feel that, okay, I can trust this guy and put him in a project. So that clear communication is important. Like, for example, if a question is asked, be very point blank and give as short answer as possible. Like, be very specific. Like, for example, if someone asks, okay, can you explain me about error handling techniques in ADF? Then be specific. Okay, point number one is, okay, there is a retry policy. Point number two is, uh, like uh, like for example, you have these different kinds of outcomes for each activity: on completion, on failure. Like, be very quick and be very short and be very precise. You don't have to be go too technical or too long, I would say. So these are like couple of tips which I can share, mainly on the communication side and on the confidence side. Yeah, both are non-technical, but when it comes to attending interviews, don't take them too seriously, because sometimes even because of nervousness you may not get the confidence, but treat that more like a conversation. So for example, as soon as you go to the interview, you can actually start, you yourself can initiate and ask, you can introduce, like you can say hi, and you can ask how is your day to the interviewer, rather than them asking you. So whenever I attend any interview, I immediately wish them good morning, good afternoon, or hi, or something I'll do. And then I'll ask them, hey, how is your day?
So I will answer Abdul's next question. So Abdul, yes, you should just do a boot camp like Ashok's. It is the best in the market today for Azure Databricks. And the timeline to get ready, you must have seen all those things. You get ready in 12 weeks. Okay, so you'll from end to end, you will get ready in 12 weeks. So go for that. Talk to Ashok, please. Next question is, please share tips for explaining Databricks customer cluster configuration, blah blah. Mani Raman. Mani Raman, I'll take your question in a minute at the last, where Sanjay might add something to it. But Abdul has one more question, and I will give it to Sanjay. What is the salary in the market that one can expect for an average guy and for a good guy in the data engineering role with 5 to 7 years experience?
Hello.
Yeah, Sanjay.
Yeah, I so you're talking. So see, the salary
What
first
salary?
always
Yeah, what
depends
salary
on
can I
your
expect?
current offer. Huh?
What salary can I expect with 5 to 7 years experience in data engineering,
Yeah, see,
whichever it is?
yeah. So the first thing in Indian market you have to remember is your next salary will always depend on your current salary, for sure. Like, okay, you can expect maybe 20 to 30% hike on your fixed part. Now you may have your CTC as 10 lakhs, but whichever is your base or the fixed component, on that they will give you the offer like 20%, 30%. Now, in case you want more hike, then you need to get another offer, and then you have to ask the company to match that offer. That is the only way to get higher salary than regular hike which you get. If you do not get multiple offers, you will be stuck with the 20 or 30% hike given the current market conditions. And even when you are getting like multiple offers, for example, see, HRs will not obviously articulate this, but every HR knows that what they are doing these days is they'll put a buffer. Now let's say the budget is 35 lakhs. So I'm just giving an example. Let's say the budget is 20 lakhs or 35 lakhs. They'll always give you a quote. The first offer will always be a little lower than their budget. And only when you get another offer, they'll try to match and say, okay, we are giving this one by matching it. So I mean, immediately they'll never give you the best number. That is the number one thing you have to remember.
But a typical salary for 5 to 7 year experience could be anything ranging from their first offer of 20 to 35 to 40, and I've seen as big as 55 or 60. So guys, there's a lot of ranges based upon your skill level and multiple other factors.
See, I mean, a very good reference point for you to have a range is, see, upper range, there is no limit, but lower range, multiply your experience with 3. I mean, that will give you a realistic, like bare minimum where which you have to ask for. Like, let's say if you have 5 years of experience, multiplied by 3, your salary should be minimum 15 lakhs. Now 7 years, okay, minimum will be into 3, 21 lakhs should be your salary. So minimum should be 3x, at least for data engineering field. Now 5x is very, very good. I mean, above 5x is even more amazing. It will be like that. That's a very good ballpark figure I can give you. Yeah.
So, Mani Raman, you have asked a long question about database cluster configuration, very specific question. Can you also put this in the AD or ADB groups? And I want to know if you're a current student of Ashok.
No, I'm not. I'm not a current student of Ashok.
So we can answer this question, but if you were in the classes, you would not even have this question in the first place because it will be very deeply covered.
Okay.
But Sanjay can give you a high level idea about this, some thought starter, so that you can address the question.
Yeah, yeah. See, here when we talk about the cluster configuration, now first we have to always ask what is the use case, because in clusters there are different types, like optimization will be done, memory optimized, you can say ML optimized, or like you can say storage optimized, like that. So first thing, whenever you talk about cluster configuration, you have to talk about the use case first. Now the second thing which you have to look at is, okay, what is your data size? Now there is no specific hard and fast rule with respect to, okay, for this data size this much cluster is used. At least those kinds of questions I haven't come across even at lead or architect level. But you can always give a ballpark figure. Like first you can say, now typically what happens is there is something called Azure cost calculator, and in that of course they'll ask you to enter all the parameters and all. Now how do you estimate the cluster size is the question. Now it depends on the number of runs, like per day how many runs you are doing, what is your data size, like ingestion, like how much data you're ingesting, and how much data you're processing, and how many number of times you're doing. So there are multiple factors which are involved. Now is there any hard and fast rule with regard to what cluster you need to have? Unfortunately there is no hard and fast rule or a framework which talks about this. Now here in Databricks also, again, you have two things. You have a classic compute where it's like you select the cluster and all. Then there is also serverless compute. Now for serverless compute you don't have to worry about most of these things, so it is like auto scaling is already enabled, and it will be much easier. And even when you talk about like it is very similar to Fabric, you don't have to worry about any of that. So let's say if in interview if they ask these kinds of questions, if you really want to impress the interviewer or make them feel that, make them feel confident about you, you can always ask the follow-up question, because in clusters you have different use cases, different optimizations, and then you can talk about the other point which I talked, is it classic compute or serverless compute. All these things if you ask, definitely that will help the interviewer to gauge that, yeah, you have good experience.
So yes, Abdul, I saw your DM. I will be able to drop the Azure data bootcamp details. But it has started today. I think it was going to start on 8th November, so it should have started already. So without waiting long, you just talk to Ashok. I'll give you the name and number, and you can go talk to him very quickly because I think he's closing his batch. He's taking no more admissions, I think, for the Azure Databricks portion. At this point, I'll need to wrap up because I need to give Ankita some rest, and we'll continue having these conversations in our groups. And thank you so much, Ankita, for sharing your journey and the valuable insights. Your story was very clear. First of all, I was very happy that you were so clear and so organized in your thoughts. And your story beautifully highlights the importance of consistency. It highlights the importance of learning by doing in projects and
Thank you.
keeping a positive mindset is what I gathered also. So I'm sure today's session will be motivating and guiding many aspiring data engineers on their paths. And Ankita, I wish you a very happy birthday and wish you continued success in your career. And thank you again for being with us today. I thank the audience as well, and my organizers, and Sanjay Chandra for participating today and giving his thoughts to the community as a lead data engineer. Thank you so much, guys. Guys, we will keep having these kind of sessions. We keep having this kind of sessions anyways every week on one topic or the other. So we might come with an SQL success story, data engineering story with Azure. We might come with Fabrics. So guys, please participate. This is how we are able to learn from others. Okay. So always try to participate whenever we have a seminar. And